what is retail finance. Just a way to get everything that you actually want. Not need, but what you want. Have the ability to spread out that across a certain term that suits your budget.
Welcome to Style Stories, brought to you by Easy Living Interiors, helping you transform your space and create the feeling of home. Hi, I'm Laura, and you're very welcome to another episode of Style Stories with Easy Living Interiors. Today, we're talking about something that so many of us dream about, creating a home that truly reflects you. Whether you're buying your very first place, moving somewhere bigger to fit a growing family, or even downsizing to simplify life a little, furnishing your home should feel exciting. I'm joined by Adam Sullivan from humm, a finance provider that helps make that journey a little easier. If you've ever walked into a store and fallen in love with a sofa or a dining table but thought, I might have to wait for that one, humm is here to help you say yes now and spread the cost over time. In this episode, we'll chat about how to design and furnish your dream home your way, without the stress, without the pressure, and with more freedom to create a space you love coming home to. So grab a coffee, get comfy, and let's dive in. So, hello Adam, how are you today?
Good, thanks. You?
Very good, I'm great.
Good.
Great to have you here in the studio.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, a little Christmas makeover. We'll be talking about Black Friday, customer shopping over Black Friday, and how customers can use humm to make that Black Friday shopping that little bit easier, which is fantastic. So to start off, can you tell us a little bit about humm, who you are, what you do, and the kind of customers that you serve?
So humm is an Australian company, been around circa 40 years, that's 40. Well established. We're across Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Ireland, UK. Regulated in every jurisdiction that sort of we do business. Specifically for Ireland, obviously. Been around, say, 16 years now. And it's generally grown from a stereotypical financier through to a FinTech, where we're now fully digital end-to-end. Myself, I've been in the business for 12 of those years for my sins. But I love it. It's been great to see the progression. Back when I first started, it was very much you got on a phone to do an application, arduous, difficult for a consumer, difficult for a retailer. Maybe
invasive as well.
Yeah, because you were sharing documents, and things have changed. GDPR rulings coming in. Everyone had to sort of diverse and change and be dynamic in that approach. So we've just made it easier for consumers and for merchants, to be honest.
Yeah.
I love it. I look after sales and marketing, so I'm the head of sales for UK and Ireland. Yeah, so
that's the story.
Yeah,
brilliant.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah,
unless you've got any further questions on it.
Yeah, and the name humm, because it's funny, because we're a furniture business and people often mishear it as home finance, because it actually makes sense. Home finance, interiors. What does humm mean as the name? Why is it humm and the little bird logo as well? What's that all about?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question, because we were a company called Flexify prior to this. Humm Finance, we had a very good marketeer come into our business, and she became our group CEO, and she saw an opportunity to align our entire global business, because we had 56 products at the time across our global business, which was quite hard to navigate. And we could see everyone else coming into the market, these buy now, pay later products, which we invented, by the way. But they come in and had this one singular brand, and they were building these customer bases and merchant bases that just seemed to grow and grow and grow. So she saw an opportunity and was like, right, okay, let's rebrand. And in that rebranding, obviously there must have been a brainchild, was about a hummingbird. I know it's a very chubby hummingbird, but the idea is they shop for the sort of sweetest nectar, and that was the idea. And the orange was very vibrant. So she just saw an opportunity, brought the team in, and that's essentially it. That's how it landed. Okay. And everyone kind of bought into it. We were kind of unsure about the word humm, obviously, because it's got lots of different meanings globally, but it landed really, really well. So, but yeah, we do get that a lot about home, by the way.
Yeah.
Home finance.
I was asking that question actually for myself, but I think the listeners will be interested as well. I really wanted to know, because I just love a good brand. So thanks for sharing. So for listeners that might not know much about retail finance and they're completely new to this, how would you describe it in simple terms? And what makes humm's approach stand out? So how do you make it easy for the customers?
That's a really good question. So the first part of that question is really, what is retail finance? And it's just a way to basically get everything that you actually want, not need, but what you want, and be able to have the ability to spread out that across a certain term that suits your budget. And that is the most ethical approach. And within that, you have different programs. And by programs, I mean different interest rates, which are decided by the retailer we work with, which is depicted by margins and stuff like that. We won't get too much into it. But for us, the ethical approach for that has been really, really good. And it's been about how we digitize it. So how do we bring it to a customer to make that an easy, you could be sitting on a couch like this, basically going, I'm not going to do it in store. I'm actually going to sit down and go through the application at my own time. But then it's going, well, how do we make it quick and slick? Just like everything else you've used Facebook, you've used Instagram. How did you log into that? If we can make it feel the same way, then you're comfortable. Now you've got to just fit in the regulatory bit and ensure it's compliant, which is what we call sludginess or friction. But once that's done in the correct way and in the most seamless way, it just makes it so much easier. And it's about communicating with the customer as well. Once you communicate with them and bring them along the journey, it's almost like an achievement once you get to the end of it. So it's quite nice. Yeah.
And what does that application look like for the customer? For anyone who hasn't any experience with humm. So how does one apply for humm Finance?
Yeah, so we would have very simple buttons on all of our websites. So by websites, I mean our own, obviously, that's hosted at shophumm.com. And then any of our partnered websites, so Easy Living Interiors, you'd have your apply now on there. Yeah. Simple click on that. It'll take you on mobile or on desktop or any device that you have. It'll fit into the same way and it'll just bring you through standard questions. That process takes literally 2 minutes. Yeah. And it's not invasive. We have to ask certain questions, obviously, for compliance, but we're not going into too much. So it's simple bits about yourself, the normal, what would you earn? What is your expenditure? That's your simple calculation for finance for what we call serviceability. And then if we need proof of ID and verification of the same, we would ask for that in a digital way. But yeah, there's no more of this like printing and scanning documents and all of that. It's done by the device itself.
Yeah. And I think for us as well, something that's really valuable to our customers is they're not coming in and meeting one of our sales executives and sharing all of that personal information. They do it online themselves and it's private, which is brilliant. And then Kim is here as well, who looks after humm internally for us. But I'm right in saying then the customer gets their approval amount and then they spend it how they wish online. Yeah. And with us, and they can also spend it with other retailers as well. So it's kind of empowering the customer, right?
Yeah, and that's the bit about kind of being ethical. It's their choice. They get to choose. We're not enforcing a certain program on a customer and saying this is it or nothing. It's like, here's your credit. We've checked your serviceability. This is what you've requested. We're comfortable with that too. Go and enjoy, utilizing it in the way that you need it. And, for us, that's worked really, really well. And we've got such a good loyal customer base. Our customers consistently return back to us, which means we're doing a good job. Yeah. I hope that means what it means anyway. Yeah. I think so, yeah.
Very good. So let's talk about first home buyers, because first home buyers are a big customer base of ours, and it's getting harder and harder to get on that property ladder and kind of have that margin left at the end after your mortgage and have that money to spend. So humm is actually brilliant for first time buyers to really free up some of that budget to invest in the home that they deserve and that they want. So we know furnishing a first home can be overwhelming. Where would you suggest first time buyers start once the mortgage and fees are all paid?
Yeah, and look, this resonates to me when I bought my first home when I was 20, which was not that long ago, longer than you think. Probably. Yeah. But I remember back in the day we used to do, well, not we, but there was 120% mortgages. So you and obviously Northern Rock and the companies like that went bust because of it. Now you need to put a big deposit down. Obviously, all that disposable cash is being absorbed, and then the bank will not give you a loan on top of that to get your finance. So, the first time buyers and first time renovators in their home are actually now utilizing us, where they can get up to €30,000 and walk into an Easy Living and get a full suite of products. It just makes it so much easier. So we're trying to work with builders for new builds that are actually producing these new homes, and they're selling off plans to actually introduce us at that stage. Okay. And I think collaborations maybe with like an Easy Living Interiors, we could work together on something like that where we have a co-branded leaflet, and when that sort of is passed over your deed, essentially there's an invitation to utilize humm and Easy Living Interiors to be able to go and then, okay, well, let's go fill this house, because the shock of what it actually costs when you have to fill it. Yeah. And because the echo slowly starts to go in your house as you start to fill it. But, the bank account starts to be hit too. So. Yeah.
And I think what's great about humm is there could be a tendency for a first home buyer, because of sheer necessity, that you might buy things because that's okay for the meanwhile. And like, I'll live with that for the meanwhile. But with humm, you can get that investment piece and like a lot of it is actually needs. You need a dining table, you need a bed, and you need a couch, right? With Humm, you can get the quality pieces that are going to stand the test of time, and you're going to have them and they're going to last, but you can split those payments in a way that makes sense for you. So it really does make it easier for the first home buyers. And again, as a furniture retailer, we are so aware of the pressure that's out there now. So working with you guys is a great way for us to be able to make that little bit easy. And it definitely goes with both the names. It's easy, we're easy living, and you're home, and people can design their homes with Humm. So happy days.
And actually, just on that point, I think you made such a valid point. And I kind of said it earlier about it's what you want rather than what you kind of need, because we see it in selling where someone will go for the cheapest product possible because that's all they can get. And that will last 6-12 months. And that's across every industry. Whereas the actual product that you want and is the requirement is actually a more expensive product because you're getting what you pay for, but you're getting a longer term from it. So we don't want people to finance cheap items that aren't going to last the term of your loan, because that's not ethical in my opinion.
Right.
So the idea of getting a better quality, and when you come into Easy Living Interiors with a product like 0% APR, where it's cost them no extra, and fair play to Easy Living Interiors on that, because it just makes it that much less demanding on their financial standpoint.
Yeah, and also I think it's really important is there isn't hidden costs. And hidden costs is kind of something where, like, at least with Humm, you know what you're getting in for. You know what your payments are going to look like. So it's that transparency as well, which is great. We often have customers who fall in love with a luxury sofa or statement dining table but want to spread the cost. How does Humm make that possible without added pressure? So I know that you guys kind of show sometimes the scale. So this is like the budget buy versus the luxury buy, and this is the price difference. So yeah, what's your opinion there?
It comes down to the psychology of a consumer and, our normal behavior. We pay for things monthly anyway. So when you are showing a monthly price and where your budget sofa is maybe €5 less than the sofa that you really want per month, I mean, obviously not in total cost, it just makes it attainable. It's like, well, it's not a pressure anymore. It's kind of, well, if a cup of coffee, which is what a cup of coffee in Starbucks costs now these days, is the difference between getting kind of what, oh, that'll do, to this is what I really want. That for us, that's brilliant. We're actually just displaying to people, along with collaborations with like yourselves, it just makes it accessible. And for me, that should be the dream, being able to provide that. And, it keeps people happy, after COVID, and I don't want to mention the C word too much. We saw a massive change, and we worked with a couple of agencies that really displayed the different behaviors of consumers once they really had a chance to spend loads of time on their furniture, whether it be dining room tables, and realize this isn't what I wanted. And now I can really, once it comes back to normal, start to look at that. And the numbers within our business completely showed that people were spending that a little bit more. If that meant extending their term out a little bit more, that was fine because their monthly budget stayed the same. But customers were really spending the time to get what they really, really wanted rather than, like you said, a necessity. So that was a nice feeling for us, because you get more testimonials, and people don't wake up in the morning and go, God, I really want to give someone a good, review on finance today because I'm so excited about finance. You don't. But we've started to get really good reviews on Google reviews, Trustpilot. And it's nice when you see that, because like, God, stereotypically finance don't get those things. Finance
can be, in the traditional sense, like very intimidating, but with Humm, it's not intimidating. And it's straightforward, and it's like that, being able to apply online from the comfort of your own mobile phone. It's kind of like Revolut is another great app, and it's kind of appifying that, which is great.
Totally agree with you. And it's about, again, they've nailed it. It's a good example of where they've gone, how do we want to help people do banking from the comfort of their own home, whether that be sending money to family members abroad, and we know all the people that are in Australia, Canada and stuff like that. And we've just followed suit. We've always had a digital aspect throughout the years. Like I said, we invented buy now, pay later. We were the first to do it.
And I didn't know that.
Yeah. We just unfortunately weren't the fastest to digitize it back in the day. And other companies did, because we were more about finance than technology. And now we have a very even split of fin and tech. Finance, there's a lot of companies that have spent too much time on technology and not enough on the finance side. And they're struggling and have struggled. And we've seen businesses come in and leave because of that. So I feel that we've got the perfect blend of finance and tech now. So we are a true fintech company, which is good.
And I feel like a lot of listeners will actually learn what fintech actually means just by listening to this. When I first heard the term, thought it was like from Finland. FinTech.
There's some Finland technology.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's not, it's finance technology. God, we're learning so much today. So can you explain how 0% interest finance works? Like, how does that work?
Yeah. The great thing for the consumer is 0% APR finance is literally what it says it is. And in Ireland, when we first started doing 0% APR, there was a lot of skepticism, like, where's the catch? Sure, I'm going to be paying something. But I think it's important to note that it's the retailer, our collaborative partner, that's actually subsidizing the finance on behalf of the customer. So they're going, we're not going to allow our customers to pay for the finance. We will, as in Easy Living Interiors, and that enables a customer to get what they want with no additional cost, interest, or fees. So if you're getting a £1,200 sofa or euro sofa over 12 months, it's €100 or £100 per month. And that's it. No, nothing else, which is class.
Yeah. It's great sofa we're sitting on. Yeah, that's a perfect example.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah. Gorgeous piece.
Yeah.
So next we'll move on to consumer behaviour and the retail finance market. So we've seen a big shift in how people shop over the past few years, and we've touched on that with COVID ourselves, that what you were saying really resonates with us as well, that our business really changed during COVID, and our online business ourselves as well. We really took off during COVID because obviously our stores had to close down. I actually started with Easy Living in the online sales department, and so did Kim. So why do you think that retail finance has become such an important part of the shopping experience, especially for home and lifestyle purchases?
That's actually a really good question, because again, it goes back to your psychology as a consumer. Everything is broken down these days. So the first initial piece that consumers looks at is, can I spread out the payments? And then you start to look at the behavior of, okay, once I know I can split it out, I'm now going to shop again for that thing that I really want. Not only the thing that I really want, but all of the other items that match it and go with it. Because that's what I go into a shop and look for. I look at, okay, this sofa looks great, but when I put it into my house on its own, maybe it doesn't look the same. But when I blend it with everything else that you're offering, it's now attainable. And now I'm a really happy customer because I'm getting what I saw in store. So yeah, the consumer behavior is, like you said, changed. It's now in a position where, it's accessible.
Yeah. And that's actually really important as well, is that it makes things accessible, because it's hard out there, like costs of everything are going up, and
cost of living crisis is a problem, and it has been a problem. It's more of a problem in the UK than it is Ireland. But, Ireland, we see the impairment levels still at 1% or less, which means there's less people in debt than what there would be in the UK. But, for me, that accessibility is absolutely key, because people are shopping more than they've ever shopped before. We don't really know why. I don't think anyone knows why that is. But when they are shopping, they are looking for finance to be able to split out that payment. And it's great for us, obviously, but it's also great for you guys because it'll help lift the average deal size. And for consumers, they can get what they want.
Yeah, and it does. I think it goes back to as well quality, because ultimately buying the piece that maybe you're going to live with, but it's not the piece that you really want, and the quality piece, that actually works out more expensive in the long run. And we've all done it. God, we've all done it. We've all bought things that sure that'll do, but ultimately it's about getting a long-term investment, and that's the difference with Humm, for sure. So do you find that customers are becoming more comfortable now with the concept of finance compared to maybe when you would have started out 40 years ago? Do you find now customers are kind of understanding it more and getting their heads around it a bit more? And for people maybe who aren't so comfortable, what would you say to kind of alleviate any fears of that process?
Yeah, I'll do this in two parts. Yeah, so the first part, consumers, when I first started in finance in Ireland, like I said, were quite skeptical of where were the catches, does it look like a credit union? And if it doesn't look like a credit union, why? And the 0% APR caused that problem, because credit union wouldn't do a 0% APR. So to answer your question, people are now way more comfortable because they're seeing it in more places. They're using it more often. The likes of Sky TV and Netflix, everything is paid monthly now. So again, it comes back to that psychology of, I should be paying for things monthly. And then the second part to that was,
what would you say to customers who might be a bit nervous?
That's it. And it's kind of like to, go and actually experience it for yourself. Look at the information online to see that, we are a regulated entity, that we are here for the consumer, and we do have a consumer first approach genuinely. And there's no hidden agenda in there. So when you look at the terms and conditions, whether it's on our website or yours, we just display the truth.
Yes,
and
yeah.
There are some aspects in some fintech businesses, no names mentioned, where it's maybe not as transparent. But for us, we are very much a consumer-focused business. If we do not do the right job for the consumer, they don't come back. But I feel once they actually go on and have a go, essentially, they feel comfortable. They see that it's actually quite friendly in the look and feel, the experience, and more importantly, well, how we communicate. Like I said earlier, the communication is so important. Nothing more frustrating. And I can talk about it from our own experiences back in the day when it was a bit more sort of yeehaw and dark back in the day, that when you didn't communicate, you were lost. And you were like, what do I do? What do I need to provide here? You know, and sometimes it was waiting for an email or someone to ring. And that could be a day later or 2 days later, and you just weren't sure. Whereas now everything's literally within your hand. And if it's not within your hand, you can just ring or check. You can go on and do chat. You can go online. Like there's so many sort of avenues to communicate to humm, which makes it just comfortable.
So next we're going to move on to technology and innovation. So the fintech of it all. Technology plays such a huge role in how we shop today. What role, and I know the answer is going to be everything. So what role does tech play in how humm delivers its services?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it doesn't play everything, because regulation is a blocker to a lot of that. I mean, we'd love just to go on and approve everyone, but that wouldn't be ethical. And tech would allow you to do that in theory. You answer a specific set of questions. We get, a set of, documents, or just even biometrics these days, which is just your face and a fingerprint maybe. Whereas tech for us is about innovation for making it easier and as accessible as possible in the right area. So for example, if I want to shop online, we need to be integrated into an e-commerce platform, and that needs to be seamless as a payment type. If I'm in store, I need to be able to make it easier in store. And how does that look? And it's about looking, well, what's needed? And we do a lot of surveys with consumers to say, well, what do you think is the next thing that is required? Is it a digital card where you can just tap? Is it a biometric sort of, you look at your phone, you use your point of sale system, and then you do your plan thereafter? There's lots of different options that we could go down. But again, it comes to, we have to keep it ethical and compliant as well. So tech plays a big part. We just got to be very careful with it, because it comes down to protecting the customer in that scenario.
And especially, I think, in the world of gamification, like that's such a buzzword. But in what you're doing, it kind of can't just be like gamified, I suppose. There has to be.
Yeah, I mean, I love gamification as well, the idea of it. And, it's very playful in that sense. And some financiers have tried to utilize that, but you just can't. Our fundamental message is that you are getting an agreement for a payment plan that is committing you to that term. And if you don't, then there are obviously, ramifications off the back of that. And we gently help them through that. But, so you've got to be very careful. So it's about, for me, it's making it look friendly, being comfortable, making it accessible in the areas where they need it and where they want it. And then more importantly, once you have it, how do you use it very easily? So so gamification probably won't come into our business.
Of course. And then, so tell me, what is next for humm? Is there anything coming down the track that you can share?
Ooh, exclusives.
A bit of a first scoop here.
There's lots of things coming down the line. Different bits of tech. For example, I mentioned about point of sale systems, and, for customers to be able to, and customers, by the way, I mean consumer and customers in Easy Living Interiors, to be able to make a transaction happen faster where it's possible. So that's one thing. That's a heavy exclusive now. So we're looking at those type of behaviors, and then different potential industries that we might play within, and whether that's B2C or B2B. Those things I can't talk about.
Right, but, fair enough. Just stay tuned, guys.
Maybe the next episode 2. We'll do a launch.
Perfect. Sounds good. Can you walk us through what happens behind the scenes when a customer applies for finance? How is the process so quick, easy and secure?
Great question. Because sometimes I do think that people assume we're just running around like lunatics in the office. Luckily, the technology, plays a massive part. So we do have bits of tech which obviously APIs is a TLA, a 3-letter acronym that comes up a lot. We have that is call points. So for example, when a customer is actually typing in specific details, we have endpoints for data that receives that and is doing checks. In Ireland, for the central bank, we have to do something called a central credit register check over a certain number. And that's automated. So everything that's happening is giving us answers back straight away. So that enables us to obviously make a decision very quick without giving too much detail away in case our competitors are looking over.
Oh, of course. Yeah,
But, the AI is playing a part in it too, so it's like, how can we use AI for maybe algorithms and scorecards and stuff like that? Yeah, it's much simpler than you'd probably think, because it comes down to the front end development of the product where we can actually make it automated. And then it's having and this is something an exclusive of something I've been looking at, is AI versus AI.
I was going to ask, where does AI come in for?
Yeah, and this is a big one for me because I'm doing a talk on this next year. So AI versus AI is something I was thinking about and I was chatting to the team about. So AI is obviously artificial intelligence. We all know it has lots of things to play in. ChatGPT is one that always comes up, and there's lots of them, obviously. But for me, artificial intelligence, AI versus actual interaction is so important in our business. So it's AI versus AI in that sense. So you have AI to help the automation where possible, but you need a consumer to be able to speak to someone. There is nothing worse than going, you've got an automated, IVR or whatever it is, and you just can't get to your endpoint. We will always, and this is our global initiative, we'll always have people that you can speak to or that can assist, whether that be Easy Living Interiors having someone to speak to, like Adam over there, or an actual Adam, not an AI Adam, and a consumer being able to, we might have AI up front at some points, and we don't yet, but we might, that when they just struggle, especially vulnerable customers, they can just pick up the phone and go, are you a human being? It's like, yes, I am a human being. And I'm blown away by AI, by the way. We've been on calls where you're actually speaking to AI and you don't realize it's AI. And then they say, hey, did you know that's AI? And we're like, whoa, because it's answering your questions. But, it's not that slick yet, but it will be. But that's our big thing. AI versus AI, artificial intelligence versus actual interaction.
And I think with AI, we're obviously a customer-facing retail business, so people are always going to be part of our business, and they're what make us who we are. We're a family business as well, and that's very prevalent in our business values. But AI as well for us has its place. So we have an AI chatbot now that operates outside of business hours. So during business hours, you're going to talk to a human, but outside of business hours, then the AI is still there to assist you. So it's kind of weighing up as a business, what use cases does AI have and where can it help the customer when they need it. But when a customer needs a human to interact with them, the human kind of always has to be there, especially again when we're talking about finances. Like, I don't know, you want to feel in the safe hands of a person, and the AI doesn't even have hands, so you can't be in. There are no safe hands.
Anyway.
Not yet. Yeah, good point actually. Let's see where
AI
it goes.
robots coming.
Yeah, 100%. How do you see technology continuing to shape the future of retail finance?
No, it is a good question. And I'll just say one thing on it, not to, keep regurgitating the same information. I think there will be a level where it has to stop because, for technology, it comes down to technology versus compliance. So how will it affect it? You'll see more biometric payments coming in. So, and it's things where it's an algorithm via your heartbeat, you can pay by it. Did you know that?
What? No.
So yeah, if you go to, so if you have a smartwatch, and you have your own independent signature via your heartbeat, so you'll actually be able to pay using your heartbeat.
Wow.
We've talked about, in the past, chips that could be implanted, and people have those, the NFC chips that you can actually go and pay. Don't think we'll be doing finance on those, but essentially we'll take it as far as we can once remaining compliant, and that will be the one blocker, and it's a good thing. And we enhance, and utilize compliance where we can to make sure consumers are protected. But it will play a big part to answer your question. But the max level that I can see in my generation will be biometric payments.
Okay. Interesting. I am aware of like rings, like
smart rings. Yeah. So, anything like that, biometrics is obviously your eyes, your face. And they've actually got tools now to block, because, in AI, you can actually create a face. So they've got, technology that can check if that face is AI or not AI. And, it's mad, because essentially I can make a video of you on AI, you talking. I could have done a podcast with you sitting there. Yeah. And, it's not you.
So let's talk about regulation and responsible lending. So finance can be a great tool, but it's also important that it's used responsibly. How does humm ensure that customers are borrowing in a sustainable way and maybe people aren't overcommitting or overstretching?
And you know what? We're massive on this because where we get a lot of criticism by retailers is that maybe our approval rate isn't as high as some of the fintechs, as in the buy now, pay later fintechs, no names mentioned. It's like Voldemort, but I won't mention it. And the reason for that is that we will always act like a true financier. We will look at your circumstance, we'll put a stress test on it, and if you can't afford it, unfortunately, we are willing to turn around and say, you can't have it right now. Come back in 6 months once your circumstances hopefully changed. And we'll always take that standpoint because one, if we put you under financial strain now, it's going to, create more stress, more pressure, and you're not going to return back because your credit rating is just going to get worse and worse. So it's about how can we credit build? So how do you look at a customer and go, well, okay, you've gone for 30,000 euro. That might be out of your wheelhouse right now, but, potentially a pay in 3 over, 400 euros is okay now. And then they're on the credit sort of ladder, as we could call it, and then they can start building that way. But ethical approach is so key. Yeah. And with new CPC rules coming in next year into Ireland, that's going to really protect consumers. And that's so important to us because the communication on marketing, which, something that we'll have to talk about quite a lot of, how is that displayed? How is it transparent? And having disclaimers and balancing statements of, do you realize that if you don't pay this back, it's going to affect you? And, and I hate to keep saying it, but there are other fintechs that don't be as transparent as us. But I would rather be that, and our business would, because it's fair. So it comes down to the measurement at the end of the day. The tools we have in place and the people, the underwriters are absolutely class, and they'll always look at it in a way which makes sense and that it's balanced. That, okay, and it's probably a little bit too much now. It's not maybe it's a no for now, but not forever. So we'll always communicate gently with those customers. Yeah.
And as well, so what you said there about maybe paying 3 is more suitable for such a customer. We actually haven't covered the different plans and the different options available. So what options does humm have available? And let's talk about what we're doing here at Easy Living Interiors as well.
Yeah, so essentially in finance in general through humm, you can do anything from a pay in 3 up to a 72-month plan. So, and you can have any product within that from 0% APR, which is what Easy Living does, which is no cost to the customer. And in some instances where you have a lower margin and the business can't subsidize it, you'll have an interest-bearing product. There is a fee cap in Ireland, so you can't go above that unless you go into money lender territory, which we'll never do, by the way. We're not a subprime lender or anything like that. So we'll always stay in that kind of, more premium brand and less of an interest rate to the customer. But we do everything in between that. So, and it really is picked by the merchant. So specifically for Easy Living Interiors, all the products are 0% APR. So there's no product that actually charges the customer, which is awesome, by the way. And, that's becoming less and less. I suppose the furnishing industry and vertical demands that. And look, it's great to see, to be honest. It's nice. Yeah,
particularly we're in November and Black Friday is coming up. So it's, when Christmas is coming up and people have a lot of costs over Christmas. So humm is a great option as well, that you can kind of go and shop the Black Friday sales and you can get that value. But then the extra value add is that you can split the payments. So it's just a great option, really.
Yeah, we see it used a lot. Obviously, in this period, we have customers that constantly return same time every year, utilize it for gifting, and it just takes the pressure off. It's a nice approach and we love that.
With increased regulation in financial services, how does humm stay ahead and maintain trust with customers and retail partners?
Yeah, look, for us, it's having an open relationship with the central bank and understanding what they require and the CCPC and all of the regulatory bodies, and then making sure we communicate that openly with our partners. And once we communicate it openly, we know where we stand, how we need to display it, whether that be in store and online. And once we communicate that in a level playing field for our consumers, then we're doing everything correctly. And that way that enables us and gives us trust from the regulatory bodies that we can go and be more fintech in our approach because they know we're doing things correct. So that's it in its entirety. Transparency and communication is key. For everyone. We've got nothing to hide. So we're regulated at the end of the day. So, there's nothing you can do that's going to put off. And if you do, you're going to get a slap on the wrist. So
there you go.
There you go.
Okay, Adam. So this couch is called the Groove. It's a 5-piece modular sofa and it's 2,599. So tell me what that looks like if I were to go for this with Humm.
Yep. So, which is, when you look at it on here, it's pretty clear. There's no fees, no interest, no cost additional at all, but you can spread it over the 24-month plan, for example, you can see here, where it's €108.29. I mean, it's pretty small for a quality couch. Yeah. And I can vouch for this couch.
The comfort.
That rhymes.
Yes.
Of how comfortable it is. Yeah. I mean, that for me, that's a no-brainer. Actually, I'm shocked by the cost of it. It's
we can do the deal now, like, you know, you can take it away.
Like, as in physically take it away?
Yeah, no bother.
I've got a truck with me, I can take it. Yeah, no, I mean, to be honest, yeah, it's amazing. When you look at this here, 24 months at 0% APR for a customer, how cool is that? At €108.29. No extra cost.
So that's the couch sorted. Now let's pick the dining table.
Love it. Yeah.
Okay, so one of our best selling tables, the Camden range. It's gorgeous. Really high quality piece. It's made with oak. Stands the test of time again. So can you tell me what that looks like to wrap it all up, and we're all going to go shopping now when we're finished?
Happy days, yeah. Let's take a look at this Camden. Is it Camden?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is nice. Ooh, it's only $12.99. Okay, yeah, so again, it's similar to the couch, really. You can shorten your term, 12 months, for example, and pay pretty much nearly the exact same at €108.25. No extra cost. Mm-hmm. That's no fees, no interest. So it's a flat rate. So you buy this for $12.99, you get finance on it, you get to spread it over 12 months, and guess what? You're only paying $12.99.
And because it's Black Friday, it'll be in time for Christmas, which is great. So you can do both.
It comes that quick?
Yeah. We're doing before Christmas delivery. So get it now, guys. Get it now.
Okay. Happy days. This couch and the Camden table.
Perfect. Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas is right. Yeah.
And that's it for today's episode. I hope you found our chat with Adam Sullivan as insightful and empowering as I did. It's amazing to see how tools like Humm can help you make your dream home a reality, one piece, one room, one step at a time. Whether you're furnishing your very first place, upgrading for a growing family, or simply giving your home a well-deserved refresh, remember, it's all about creating a space that feels like you and doing it your way. If you'd like to learn more about how Humm works or explore how you can use it at Easy Living Interiors, you'll find all the details linked in the show notes. Thank you so much for listening to Style Stories. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share this episode with a friend. Until next time, I'm Laura from Easy Living Interiors, helping you make your house a home one story at a time. Thank you for joining us on Style Stories with Easy Living Interiors. You can hear all the news, including links to more information, in the description area of this podcast. Please share our show with a friend who might enjoy it. Simply search Style Stories with Easy Living Interiors on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube. This podcast is produced by justpod.io for Easy Living Interiors.